For 14 months, Matt Armstrong had refused to call Bugatti. He had sourced Honda Civic radiators, Audi A5 gearbox pumps, and Mercedes Sprinter Pyro fuses. He had cross-referenced parts across 8 different manufacturers, saved £18,000 on a single service, and proved repeatedly that Bugatti's official network was charging multiples of what the job actually cost. Every fault had a workaround. Every Bugatti obstacle had an independent solution. That was the premise, and for over a year, it held. Then the Veyron broke down at Dunsfold runway with a single fault code. No communication with the fuel pump control module. And for the first time since the rebuild began, the methodology had no answer. This is the story of what happened next. Matt's first call went to Bugatti London, the flagship UK service center, the place that should, by any reasonable expectation, have answered immediately when a customer with £1.5 million car needed help. It went to voicemail. The recorded message gave a callback number. Matt dialed it. Voicemail again. He tried a second time. Same result. Bugatti London did not answer. He called Bugatti Paris, the dealership in the country where the Veyron was built, the location closest to the factory in Molsheim. A recorded message said the showroom was closed and to call back Monday to Saturday. The call was placed at midday on a Monday. Bugatti Paris was closed. He tried HR Owen Service, the parent dealership group for Bugatti London. He pressed 1 for Bugatti. Engaged. He tried again. Engaged. He tried a third time. Engaged. Service was permanently unreachable. Finally, he tried the sales line. Sales answered on the first ring. The salesperson was helpful, professional, and happy to pass Matt's details along to the appropriate contact. The people who could sell Matt a new Bugatti were available immediately. The people who could help him fix the one he already owned were not. This is not a criticism built on editorial framing. This is what was documented on camera in real time. Multiple calls, multiple voicemails, no service response. For one of the most expensive automotive brands in the world, this is the actual customer experience when something goes wrong. While waiting to hear back, Matt ran a comparison. He called Pagani Manchester, Bugatti's most direct competitor, similar price point, similar global customer base. He had not intended to actually request service. He simply wanted to know whether a hypercar manufacturer would pick up the phone. Pagani answered instantly. A live human being, professional tone, ready to help. Matt apologized, explained he had called by mistake, and hung up. But the point had already been made. 2 manufacturers operating in the same market during the same business hours. One answers. One doesn't. And Matt needed the one that doesn't. On Tuesday, Bugatti Manchester called back. The service manager confirmed what Matt had already suspected. The fuel pump control module was not a component that could be sourced, substituted, or repaired outside of Bugatti's official network. It is a proprietary electronic control unit. It cannot be cross-referenced from another manufacturer's catalog. It cannot be reflowed back to functionality. And once replaced, it must be coded specifically to the car, a process only Bugatti's own systems can perform. The part was in stock at the factory in Molsheim. The price was £45,000. For the part alone. Not including labor. Not including diagnostics. Not including transport. £45,000 for a single electronic component. There is no independent alternative. There is no workaround. There is no cross-reference. Matt had reached the boundary of what his methodology could solve, and on the other side of that boundary, Bugatti set the price because they are the only ones who can. What Matt said next was the most significant moment in 14 months of content. We have no choice. The car has to go there. That sentence, said on camera, in front of an audience that had watched him save money at every turn, avoid Bugatti at every opportunity, and prove again and again that their official service was largely unnecessary, represented a genuine concession. Not a defeat, but an honest acknowledgement. Some Bugatti problems cannot be solved with a YouTube rebuild. Before the Veyron left for Molsheim, Matt found something while researching the part number. A recall document. Bugatti had previously identified faulty fuel pump control modules across 72 Veyron and Grand Sport models and issued an official recall requiring replacement with a revised unit. Software version v3.03. Matt checked his module. It matched. This raised an uncomfortable question. If Matt's car was among the 72 affected, Bugatti should have contacted him as the registered owner and arranged a replacement at no cost. That communication never happened. One of two things is therefore true. Either the module was replaced under the recall before Matt purchased the car, in which case the revised component that was supposed to fix the problem permanently has now failed, suggesting the recall was inadequate. Or the car was never properly processed through the recall at all, in which case Bugatti has been sitting on a known defect for years without acting on it, and is now asking Matt to pay £45,000 to fix it himself. Neither explanation reflects well on Bugatti, and it makes the quote significantly harder to accept, though Matt is going to accept it anyway, because there is no other option. To understand why this moment matters beyond Matt's individual situation, it helps to look at what the rebuild project has actually demonstrated over the past 14 months. The cross-referencing methodology works. Service fluids, coil packs, gearbox pumps, crash sensors, suspension components, body parts. The evidence collected across dozens of videos shows that approximately 80% of Bugatti maintenance can be performed using parts sourced from elsewhere in the Volkswagen Group catalog, at a fraction of Bugatti's official rates. The £18,000 service saving was real. The £20 speed key that replaced a $10,000 Bugatti component was real. The independent mechanics, the custom fabrication, the TPMS workaround, all of it documented, all of it valid. But the remaining 20% is different. The proprietary control modules, the encrypted diagnostic systems, the components that require factory-level coding to function, these exist entirely outside the reach of independent service. They cannot be bought from a third party, repaired by a skilled mechanic, or substituted with a cheaper equivalent. When they fail, the manufacturer holds complete leverage over the owner, and the pricing reflects that leverage without apology. £45,000 for one part on a car with a known recall history is not an engineering cost. It is what happens when there is no competition. Matt did not fail. The methodology found its limit, but it found it after proving its value across hundreds of hours of documentation. The cross-referencing approach works for the large majority of what these cars require. It is only at the edges, the deeply proprietary electronics, the components that cannot exist outside Bugatti's ecosystem, that the independent approach runs out of road. And when it runs out of road, this is where you end up. Waiting for a callback that takes 2 days. Paying £45,000 for a part that may have been covered under a recall that was never properly executed. Accepting terms from a manufacturer whose service line doesn't answer but whose sales line picks up on the first ring. Matt acknowledged all of it, publicly and honestly. The methodology has limits. This is one of them. The car has to go there. What happens next will be documented when the Veyron returns from Molsheim. The total bill, including labor, transport, and whatever additional issues Bugatti identifies once the car is on their ramp, will almost certainly exceed £50,000. Possibly significantly more. For one component, on one car, with a known and documented recall history. The rebuild continues. The evidence collected over the past 14 months remains valid and useful for anyone navigating Bugatti ownership or the broader economics of hypercar maintenance. But the story has changed. There is now documented proof of exactly where the independent approach ends and Bugatti's monopoly begins, a specific category of components where, regardless of how much knowledge, resourcefulness, or determination an owner brings, the manufacturer wins. Matt Armstrong found that line and drove straight into it at Dunsfold Runway. Now everyone watching knows exactly where it is.